All right, let's take a look at this. The Knight is a strategic killer able to send his faithful guards to hunt for survivors and damage objects on the battlefield. His personal perks: Nowhere to Hide, Hex, Face the Darkness, and Hubris allow him to reveal survivors near generators, curse survivors to scream out in fear, and cause a survivor who stuns you to become exposed. Taros Kovacs didn't remember much about his childhood, but what he did remember he would chase his entire life. He remembered the cries and screams in the village. He remembered his mother forcing him to swallow a thick black fluid like medicine. He remembered collapsing to the hard floor only to awaken in a mass grave, buried under a crush of bodies with the sound of the village burning in his ears. He remembered pushing, pulling, and climbing to the top of the bloody mass only to be seized by the death, destruction, and silence. The indifferent and impenetrable silence. A high-pitched whine suddenly sounded in his ears, and his skin began to prickle as he realized he was in the presence of something he couldn't possibly understand. And though he couldn't articulate what he was experiencing, he knew it wasn't pain, grief, or fear. It was something else, something closer to awe. K is near H. True. As Taros tried to make sense of the moment, he didn't notice the men who approached him from behind. He didn't even react when they carried him off to a horse-drawn buggy and locked him up in a small wooden cage with other slaves. He just stared at the scene, mesmerized. And even as they rode away, telling him he was headed for Italy, Taros stared through the wooden cracks, with eyes wide open and a heart wanting to understand what could not be understood. From that day on, Taros belonged to the Guardia Campania, where he trained under Kadir Hakam. There he learned to wield weapons, forge armor, and recite a code of chivalry to be obediently serve those who would employ his services. As the years passed, Taros made few friends amongst the hostile and competitive mercenaries, but his skill, strength, and smarts attracted a small following who believed his courage brought them luck in battle, and that one day he would help them earn their collective freedom. 3 of his followers pledged their undying allegiance to Taros and came to be known as his faithful 3, his pack. Alejandro Santiago apprenticed with the Guardia Campania's armor. Durkos Malesic showed an aptitude for stealth and silent kills. Sander Ralt matched Taros in size and strength. His weapon of choice, a massive battle axe. As the Guardia Campania carried out campaigns in faraway lands, Taros dispatched countless enemies. Years passed, blood flowed, and yet all that killing still didn't bring Taros closer to what he'd experienced in this village. Nevertheless, for his bravery in battle, Taros was granted knighthood and freedom. The Hungarian slave was now liberated, his brutality rewarded, though his heart still longed for something else, something he could not name or describe. Tired of taking orders from those he considered his inferiors, Taros left the Guardia Campania to strike out on his own. Their leader, however, refused to release his followers. Determined to raise enough gold to liberate his followers, Taros found employment with a wealthy Italian lord. Vittorio Toscano was the Duke of Portoscuro. He was also a scholar, a world traveler, and a collector of ancient knowledge that had been hidden by an unknown cabal of mystics. Taros joined Vittorio's latest expedition to find a fragment of a pillar from an ancient school lost to time, a stone Vittorio called the Lapis Paradisus, for he believed it held secrets to open a gateway into a perfect world beyond good and evil. The expedition searched Roman ruins in France and crossed the Pyrenees Mountains into Spain, where the path led to catacombs beneath the Portuguese city of Sintra. The citizens there considered the catacombs sacred. Taros would have to kill the villagers guarding the entrance to retrieve the stone. Not wanting to shed blood, Vittorio commanded Taros to find another way. But Taros, who had seen the most horrific acts committed under the guise of chivalry, refused to be dissuaded by pretenses of honor. He waited for Vittorio to ride back to camp. Then, with a mighty roar, he pushed forward, cutting a path of blood and gore into the darkness until he had the stone in his grasp. Upon returning to the town of Portoscuro, Taros imprisoned Vittorio in his own dungeon, demanding to know the meaning behind the symbols etched in the stone. When Vittorio refused to talk, Taros brutally tortured his friends and relatives and made horrific displays of their bodies in the streets. But nothing he did shook Vittorio's resolve to keep the secrets of the stone from Taros. Enraged, Taros seized control of Vittorio's riches and raised a small army. Within months, Taros fearlessly marched upon the Guardia Campania, decimating their barracks, freeing his followers, cutting down his enemies like twigs, and collecting their righteous heads for his growing displays of valor. In time, several lords in neighboring provinces believed Tarhos was the very embodiment of evil. They banded together to create a moral and virtuous army to purge evil from Portoscuro. Tarhos ignored their threats. He viewed the lords as a cowardly lot who cloaked their greed and ambition in laws, codes, and platitudes. Laws and codes and platitudes designed to hide from the very darkness Tarhos embraced and accepted without judgment. But with his enemies on the march, Tarhos headed toward the dungeons to give Vittorio the death he deserved. He refused to afford him even the slightest hope of rescue. With dark intentions, he entered the small prison, wound his way into the bowels of the earth, and pushed through a torchlit corridor. He hesitated for a moment, realizing he would never learn Vittorio's knowledge and secrets, but neither would anyone else. That was good enough for him. And so he unlocked and kicked open the dungeon door. 2 quick strides brought him to an empty, rat-infested chamber. Tarhos stood silent for a moment. Then a roar of indignation burst out of his lungs as the sounds of battle suddenly reverberated through the town. Instantly, he stumbled through the corridor, rushed up the twisting stairs, vaulted out the moonlit doorway, and charged through pools of gleaming blood and viscera, smashing and shattering his way through the enemy. The moral and virtuous lords rained flaming boulders and tree trunks among the town, bursting through homes, crushing villagers like worms, pounding the ground, and igniting stacks of hay and piles of lumber into massive tongues of fire. Amidst the carnage and chaos, the pack found Tarhos, and back to back they became a whirlwind of death. Some believed their courage gave them luck. Others believed something otherworldly protected them. Whatever it was, they alone felled dozens of warriors as easily as stomping and crushing beetles. And as they butchered the enemy, Tarhos didn't notice the strange fog rising from the falling corpses and clattering armor until he couldn't see 2 inches in front of him in any direction. Tarhos stumbled forward, groping in the thick fog like the dark fluid his mother forced down his throat all those years ago. His coordination and sense of direction was confused as he called out for his pack. How long he stumbled in the almost perfect darkness he did not know. But suddenly, the fog dissipated to reveal a phantasmal wasteland of rotting bodies and burning villages and great crumbling towers leaning drunkenly on the horizon. He stared in awe. A familiar high-pitched whine sounded in his ears, and his skin began to prickle. He stood transfixed, realizing by some incredible chance his heart had found exactly what it had been searching for all his life. He didn't need Vittorio. He didn't need the stone. He had found his paradise. He had found the beauty and the horror. He had found the sublime. Power is Guardia Campania? The Knight alone is a terrifying monster on the battlefield, but with his loyal guards, he's nearly unstoppable. Together, the Guardia Campania fights for their own freedom, killing anyone who gets in their way. Tap the power button to activate Guard Summon Mode. Once activated, move around to create a patrol path. While in Guard Summon Mode, you can aim at a generator in progress, a downed pallet, or a breakable wall and tap the attack button. This will summon a guard to complete a break action on the selected object. You can also tap the power button or drain the power gauge completely to end the Guard Summon Mode. This will summon a guard who will follow and patrol the created path. Oh my god! There are 3 guards that are summoned in the same order each time. The Carnifex, who can break or damage objects faster. The Assassin, who moves faster during the hunt. And the Jailer, who patrols longer and is better at detection. Guard's special ability, the Hunt. While a guard is patrolling, he can spot and detect survivors. If a survivor is detected, the guard will move to their location, leave a standard on the ground, and start hunting the survivor for a set amount of time. The survivor can escape a guard by unhooking another survivor, grabbing the standard, or surviving until the hunt timer ends. If the survivor is successfully attacked by the guard or the knight, the guard will disappear. When a guard downs a survivor, the knight receives a Killer Instinct notification. Oh my god. Yeah, this is the PTV we're checking out. This is the knight. We just read his story. Okay. 4.6, so you're looking at, I think that's, no, Huntress is 4.2. 4.6 is the fastest base speed, I believe. 32 meters, pretty normal tear radius. Height average. Oh wait, this says max base speed. Yeah, so he is the fastest, yeah. This is a base tear radius, he's the fastest base speed. So like, trapper speed. His perks are Nowhere to Hide. Whenever you damage a gen, reveal the aura of all survivors standing within 24 meters of your position for 5 seconds? High distortion. It's still your girl, and I still love you. Wow, interesting. Hex Face the Darkness. Injuring a survivor by any means lights a dull totem, activates this perk, and hexes that survivor. It's PTB, yeah, public test beta, or something like that. I think so. While the hex is active, all other survivors outside your terror radius will scream intermittently, revealing their auras for 2 seconds each time. Other survivors can also see the aura of the cursed survivor for 8 seconds. When the survivor enters the dying state or becomes healthy, the hex totem becomes dull again, and this perk deactivates. The perk is permanently disabled once its hex totem is cleansed. So what this sounds like is injuring a survivor by any means lights a dull totem. While that person is hexed, people outside his terror radius will consistently keep screaming, and we will see that cursed survivor get hexed for 8 seconds. When that cursed survivor it goes into the dying state, the totem goes dull again. So it's only while that person is hexed and still running around the map. If, while that person is running, we cleanse the hex, then it is disabled. Otherwise, this will happen throughout the match. And we might have to just deal with it, because they might kind of plan for that. Hubris. You show no mercy, especially to those foolish enough to resist. Whenever you are stunned by a survivor, that survivor suffers from the exposed status effect for 20 seconds. I can see people running Spirit Fury Enduring with this, breaking the pallet over their head and immediately downing you. That's going to be insane. Hubris has a cooldown of 20 seconds. Wow. Vittorio Toscano. Vittorio has endlessly wandered through the fog, attempting to learn its secrets for ages. Potential energy, fog, wise, and quick gambit allow him to store generated progress to use later, reveal the killer. Okay, we'll read those later. Looks like an interesting fellow. He looks like an interesting older cool dude. Born to Alberto and Caterina Toscano in 1343, Vittorio Toscano was the youngest of 3 and third in line to inherit his family's land. At age 15, his father sent him to train with Ettore Fabrizio, the same knight who trained his older brothers in the military arts. But Vittorio didn't take to combat training the ways his brothers did. As a student of philosophy, he believed physical violence to be the last refuge of the incompetent. I agree with you, Vittorio. Infuriated by Vittorio's pacifism, Fabrizio ordered one of his pages to attack him. Vittorio dodged and blocked the blows, but refused to fight back. When his enraged opponent lunged, Vittorio parried. His attacker tripped, falling on his own dagger. He bled out in less than a minute, and Vittorio threw down his sword, swearing to never pick it up again. Wow. Since Vittorio demonstrated an aptitude for scholarship, his frustrated father sent him to study with his uncle Renzo. Besides being the Duke of Portoscuro, interesting, Renzo was also a scholar and collector of rare artifacts. Oh, I can already see the combined story here. Under Renzo's tutelage, Vittorio focused his studies on lost civilizations and ancient history. He researched forgotten tomes and became an expert on the philosophy and wisdom of ancient secret societies and obscure guardians of knowledge. Guardians present in almost every century and culture. Guardians that went by manifold names depending on the time and region and were said to be from another dimension, a perfect world. He collected anything on watchers, keepers, guides, masters, observers. Vittorio's research revealed these guardians acted as gatekeepers of advanced and arcane knowledge that would gradually help humanity transcend to a higher plane of existence. He theorized the observers waited for humanity to acquire wisdom before releasing knowledge that otherwise would lead to their self-destruction. Slowly, these observers found ways to inspire humanity with knowledge that would stimulate growth, understanding, and collective wisdom. Vittorio adopted his uncle Renzo's view that greed for money and power was the source of all conflict. His hope was that the lost knowledge of these gatekeepers might bring peace, harmony, and order to a violent world. At Vittorio's urging, Renzo mounted an expedition to find lost relics and artifacts from the ruins of antiquity. In Hungary, they discovered a bronze dodecahedron that dated back to Roman times.
What is all over my...
Whoa.
Fox, thank you for 10 months. Whoop whoop. In Asia Minor, they uncovered a hidden tunnel beneath the obelisk of Theodosius, where they discovered stone tablets engraved in Akkadian cuneiform. They told the tale of mysterious artifacts split into 3 and scattered across the world. A clue led them to the ruins of Troy, where a secret chamber revealed a treasure trove of antiquities. The most precious was a piece of that mysterious artifact, Another clue led them to the Isle of Rhodes, where a hidden cave held a second part of that same relic. In Delphi, under the Temple of Apollo, Vittorio discovered the third piece on a black marble altar. Engravings on the altar showed a map of Crete and a star over the Palace of Minos. Deep in the labyrinth below the ruins of the palace, Vittorio discovered a place to put the key created by the three relics. Ancient machinery came to life. A stone wall slid open, revealing a hidden vault. Renzo and Vittorio entered and found a white marble wall inscribed with what seemed to be a form of Sanskrit. The message warned of a cult that sought to corrupt humanity with knowledge it wasn't ready for. They had hunted down the observers and imprisoned them. But before becoming imprisoned, the observers had hidden artifacts around the world with secret knowledge about this dark force and how to stop it from destroying the world. The message on the wall also spoke of a stone from an ancient school that held the secrets of traveling between planes of existence. Vittorio, believing the stone held the key to finding the observers or their perfect world, called the stone Lapis Paradisus. As they exited the vault, Renzo stepped on a black serpent. The serpent sank its fangs into Renzo's leg and disappeared as quickly as it appeared. The venom spread fast, and within minutes he passed away. As Renzo's only heir, Vittorio inherited his estate, his library, his title, and his vast fortune. Determined to honor his uncle and help humanity transcend its weakness, greed, and cruelty, he knew he had to find the Lapis Paradisus and free the observers if they were still alive. In 1391, Vittorio mounted an expedition. He employed a mercenary knight to aid in the effort and offer protection. Formerly a member of the Guardia Campania, Tarhos Kovacs feared no man or beast. Vittorio's explorations and discoveries eventually led them to the heavily guarded catacombs beneath the Portuguese city of Sintra. If the expedition wanted to enter, they would have to kill those who guarded it. Vittorio had no wish to shed blood and told Tarhos to find another way. Tarhos defied Vittorio and by the end of the day had him in irons. When they returned to Italy, Tarhos locked Vittorio in a dungeon and began a campaign of torture in Portoscuro, promising to stop when he revealed the meaning behind the stone. Within weeks, Tarhos grew tired of torturing the townsfolk, and Vittorio was left to rot in the dungeon with no one to talk to but the rats. In his solitude, he scratched the symbols from the Lapis Paradisus into the stone floor. He attempted countless sequences while imagining a world like paradise. And just when he was about to surrender to hunger and despair, he tried one last sequence while meditating on a world of endless peace and compassion. At first, he thought he had failed. He gasped with the last of his strength, and the rats approached menacingly, preparing to feast on his defeated, sallow flesh. Then, suddenly, a cold, unnatural, black fog rose from the stone floor, and within moments he heard cries of anguish and crows circling above him. With difficulty, he clambered to his feet and found himself in another world, not the paradise he had expected. Wow. Wow. Isn't Vittorio the dude the knight wanted to kill at the end? Yep. So now we know that he was following his uncle's footsteps, who then quickly passed, and knew that this knowledge could not be told to the world because it would be too powerful, which is why he took it to his grave. Tried to transfer planes, and was taken to the entity's realm. There was a couple words that I kind of settled a bit differently. There was a couple things in here that I noticed kind of stood out. The tome, right? He brought up the word tome, brought up the word observers, another plane of existence. I mean, yeah, very interesting. So he has 3 perks. Potential energy. After, oh god, this is also a lot of, god, they put so much reading in these. People are not going to run perks with this much reading. After working on a generator for 8 uninterrupted seconds, press the active ability button 2 to activate this perk. When this perk is active, repairing the gen will charge this perk instead of making the generator progress. For each 1.5% of gen repair, the perk will gain 1 token up to 20 tokens. While this perk has at least 1 token and you are working on a gen, you can press the active ability to consume all the tokens and instantly make the generator progress by 1% for each token. This perk then deactivates. If you lose a health state while this perk has at least 1 token, the perk will lose all tokens and deactivate. Missing a skill check will also result in some charges lost. This, you know, For each 1.5% repaired, you gain a token, and the token is 1%. They're trying to slow the game down. This is a slow the game down perk. Nobody's going to run this. And if they do, they're going to be new. I know people are going to run it today because they're going to be like testing it out and stuff, but no one's using this perk. I agree. 30 seconds for 20%. I'm not a math major. But you're basically every 1.5% of gen repair gives you a token that you can then put on a gen for 1% of progress. So you lose 0.5% of progress for each token that you have. So 2 tokens, you lose 1%. 4 tokens, you lose 2%. But I'm not a math major. There's an almost done gen in a bad spot. You can do this somewhere else and rush and do it. Right. But if you lose a health state, while this perk has at least 1 token, the perk will lose all tokens and deactivate. So if you're running over to that gen and they hit you, you lose all your tokens. So you can't get hit. You have to activate it after 8 uninterrupted seconds on the generator. No. And then it says this perk then deactivates. So you can only use it once. This is a too much like if then that situation perk. It kind of reminds me of like the first Dead Man Switch, which was it only worked if you hooked your obsession or something. I don't know. Or it was like how old what is it called? Gearhead? Old Gearhead was like you have to hook the obsession and injure the obsession. But at this moment, not the dying state. It's too many like if then buts. And like, no. That's not it. This is I can see people doing like crazy builds on YouTube where they bring like a brand new part and they like build up this thing and they run and click it on a gen and being like, wow, look how cool this is. But like, no, this is not it. Fog wise, tell me this doesn't look like the Fog Whisper emblem almost. In your countless years in the fog, you've seen it all, and when you're focused, you can remember most of it too. Hitting a great skill check while repairing a gen reveals the killer's aura to you for 6 seconds. Is this a perk for me? Is this a perk for me? Are you kidding? Oh. I might put this on today and feel that out. That's pretty fun. It doesn't have a cooldown, huh? It doesn't have a cooldown. So kind of like alert, anytime the killer like breaks a wall or breaks a gen, you can like consistently see the killer. This is anytime you hit a great skill check on a generator. That's pretty nice. Would this perk work with open-handed? This is map wide. You wouldn't need open-handed. This isn't like you'll see the killer within 10 meters of you. This is like map wide. If you've ever run alert from Feng Min, anytime the killer breaks a gen or breaks a wall, anywhere on the map, you'll see like a pink aura, you'll see the killer. That is how this is going to work if you hit a great skill check on a gen. You will see the killer anywhere. Every time you hit a great skill check for 6 seconds. So, you don't need open-handed for this. And we actually don't have our own survivor perk that increases aura reading abilities like Lethal Pursuer. And now I'm wondering if they came out with something like that to extend aura reading. Because we have like extend like how far we can read auras, but we don't have extend our aura readings. That would be interesting. Quick Gambit. When you have a killer's attention, you know how to keep it. Others can be confident they won't be interrupted anytime soon. When you are chased within 24 meters of any gen, any other survivor working in that gen receives a 8% and 8% speed boost to the repair action. Interesting. Wow. Interesting. So if you loop near a gen that's being worked and the killer doesn't push you off, which you guys have seen me multiple times, working gens that somebody is nearby and they're looping and the killer's just ignoring me, if that person were to have on Quick Gambit, I would be working the gen 8% faster. I believe Prove Thyself... Is Prove Thyself 15? Choo! Choo! Let me see. 15%. So it's like half of Prove Thyself and they're looping. Imagine looping a gen with 3 people on it. I know there's a cap out too, though. There is a cap out number of like, you can't work a gen like too fast. So, I got super unstable yesterday for some reason tomorrow I fly home. Yeah, I remember you said you fly home on Wednesday, so. Yeah, they didn't put out much info about this, this new stuff. So this is my very first game. I just read all of the lore. Okay, that was a good. I need to hit a great to see where the killer is. Bear with me. Oop. Oop! There he is! Ooh, he almost looks like Oni with like his giant weapon up. Oh. Okay, so he has the thing where the gen doesn't... Oh, that is wild. Wow. So notice the gen progress isn't going up, and he's putting the progress in his pocket, basically. That is insane. Wow. That is very cool. Oh. Back to it. Back to it. There's the killer. Oh, here's the palette rework, too. They talked about reworking like breakable walls and pallets and things like that, making them look more realistic. I like it. Kind of more blends in now, but it's enough stick out that you can see it. Who put the progress in his pocket? He did! He brought the other perk where you like don't progress the gen, but instead you like gain tokens that you can then put on a different gen. Oh, he runs so oddly. Oh. What was that? Oh, this is so peculiar. Oh, that's the trail! Ah! Ah! Ew, ew, ew! What? Ah! How did he get by me so fast? Hello? What the heck? No, don't you dare patrol me. Oh my god, 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 oh my god. He just tried to patrol me. I can't tell what they make and the noise I make, because what is the sound? Oh wow, look at my chest is glowing. Oh, my arm is glowing. Oh wow. Interesting grunts. Interesting grunts. Oh my god. This is insane. Reverse pickpocket? Exactly. The entity slips it in? Yeah. Killers are gonna have trouble keeping 3 gens. So I did read all the perks earlier, and you can only use it once per match. And if the killer hits you, you lose all your tokens. So it's not as strong as you think. It's a very, like, if then but. So... I was half listening and half just heard progress in his pocket, and I was expecting... Okay. So he sent his one knight that breaks gens. That's rude. That's very rude. There he is. Wow, I really like this perk. I really like this perk. I don't like those footsteps. Tin Man, relax. Dude, this perk is so great for me because I always hit greats. I should say I mostly. Look at this. I can consistently just see him. The perk just keeps resetting. I can literally watch him. Those gremlin grunts cannot be from you. They are. They are. Yeah. Yeah. And I don't have adrenaline on because I replaced it with this perk to feel it out. Yeah, this is... I'm watching him. The entire match, I'm watching him. This is like your new god perk. I know. But like, giving up adrenaline for it, I don't think is worth. I feel like it would have to be that perk or distortion. And I like distortion too much. So I might try it a bit and then like move on, you know? It looks like he's skipping. I know we're just watching him bounce around. Are you playing with Jet? No, I'm playing with Jur. He had his eye Jur. What does the green mean? He has green around him. Does that mean he's being hunted? Do you know why the PTB is only for PC? Because it's something they push out quickly. They can't push it out to like... I don't think platforms do like test betas and stuff. So... he DC'd, okay. A skipping killer swinging their arms and whatnot, like a little girl with like pigtails. Be creepy. Thank you so much. Wow. Oh, so that means that the guy sees us? I was trying to see if his buddy would, like, come into the exit gate or something. Aren't there more rules for betas on console? Probably, yeah. The betas are always just PC only. They're just PC only. No, you put your horn down. Oh! Oh, but that's the Mori. We're here. We're here. Oh my god, you were right. The decimated Borgo, the shattered square. Zelen was not lying. Okay, these are a bit see-through, so using the hay barrel there will kind of make it less see-through. That's it, I'm exploring. Oh gosh! Okay, this is a window vault. Is that a dead pit? Oh god! Okay. Okay, we've seen the basement. We've seen the basement. Don't waste your time down there. Oh my god, this is giving Skyrim. Like harvesting dried elves' ears, rabbits. They stole that from Skyrim. I'm telling you right now, somebody loves Skyrim. Oh dear god. I'm not here. Okay. Ooh. There's a gen up here. The patrols don't seem to patrol above them. Let's see. Yeah, the patrol only works on the floor. It's not like a whole area of effect. It's just the floor. I feel like I've missed a DB announcement. Where are we? Who are these strangers? Hi, this is the PTB. We are facing the knight, and I'm running the new perk where if you hit a great skill check, you can see the killer. And this is the new map. We finally made it to the new map. Okay, he has the hex. He has the hex add-on. This is insane. Oh, they got the hex while he's being chased. Oh, I'm playing with a guy named Bad Internet May DC. Don't know if I believe you there, bud. Wow. I went through all the perks and add-ons, or perks, characters, lore, everything, earlier in the stream. If you want to check the VOD, I will be posting it later on my YouTube as well. Thank you, DBD, for proving me right. I was starting to believe that I dreamt it. Oh, no. Okay, so he has Surge. He has the new Hex perk. Here he is. Yeah, I will be posting a lot of this to my YouTube later for anyone that missed anything. So since I just hit a grate, I can kind of see his, like, pathing. He has the aura thing, so he actually doesn't see me because I have distortion. So he has no idea where I am. That's 3 perks. Oh my god, another dead pig. Is nobody saving this guy? I guess I'm going in. And now he's patrolling him? I mean, just save him, dude. Just do this. Sunhook literally behind him. It's fine. Nothing to see here. Wow, this is insane. Does this not have a shack? It's outdoors and I mean, I haven't fully checked it out. I do want to go back and touch my gen though. Because it was pretty close. So this is like the lore we were reading about, where his whole city or his whole place was like just turned to dust. Saw me. Yeah, okay. I don't see anywhere to go here. Was this like a pallet area that has no pallet now? Like, I don't... Okay. Here's the shack. Asphalt it. Oh, I thought I had a flashlight. I do not. Okay, he wants to force a patrol on me. I have sprint burst. Bye. Okay, so there is a shack. There's a building. We have like a burnt area here with a pallet. Wow. A dead person on a table? What the heck? Sir, I'm trying to check out your city. Do you mind? I couldn't dodge that in time, and now I'm being hunted by his friend. I think left side is the bigger loop here. You gonna put another patrol out? What are you gonna do? We go short side now? Throw it. Oh no, I'm exposed and injured. Whatever will I do? We're back at shack. I mean, I'm not throwing shack pallet. What do you take me for, a heathen? This was a pallet loop. The pallet is since gone. This is a pallet. How am I, like, doing this right now? I've never been on this map before. How is this working? I threw that pallet. There's a pallet up ahead. I don't know if I make it. I do. Okay, he's a little cheeky. He's a little cheeky. Oh my god, I thought that was a window. It's not! Oh man, if she ran adrenaline at this exact moment, she would have been fine. I think I'm going basement, to be honest. Are we going basement? No, we're not. Okay. This map feels big but small. Yes. That is how I feel. I feel like I've seen everything but not everything. Like there was like a vault somewhere, like a little lip in a building I can go up. Oh, honey. Oh, honey. Wow. Also, are these walls actually stone or are they like built up bodies? Remember he said in his story it was like there's just bodies everywhere? Why didn't you just grab me in that moment, sir? Why are you sitting in the bush? Now you're gonna get outed by this patrol. I don't know about that. I think you should just grab me. Yeah, just grab me, brother. I want to see what the exit door looks like. It's like a prison door. Oh, it's a castle door. Ah! Oh my god. Okay, didn't know where the edge was. Had to know where the edge was. Oh my gosh. Oh Wow, this map is beautiful. It feels pretty... Look at the lockers! The lockers have spikes and like a little broken chain on them. Oh, wow. Oh, did he have inner strength? Yeah, he had inner strength. Look at these doors. Look at these doors. Spiked lockers. That is so cool. That is so cool. That is so cool. Oh, we had a Mori. I should have checked. I should have checked. The guards appear twice in a row, or Carnifex appears twice in a row. Surge, hubris, nowhere to hide, face the darkness. Wow. There we go. Okay, okay, okay. Bro, the angles! The angles! Let's see here. There we go. Oh, look at that! This guy comes from the ground to pick you up. Do you see that? So he points his freaking sword. And this guy rises from the ground and grabs your neck. There we go. And then these two just up. Ew! Did you guys see? The jailer has like heads in his tummy. Because this is the assassin. Okay, okay. Yeah, this is the assassin. Oh my god, his eyes. He's like a white eye. This is the assassin. That's the jailer. And then this is the guy the genbreaker guy, right? Yeah, that's the genbreaker guy. Oh, even he looks creepy. Oh, wow. So he knifes you. This guy holds you up while this guy burns you. In the neck. In the... my face, dude. In the neck. The jailer then turns you around with some fish freaking helmet on. Stabs you through the shoulder. Rips it up. Hands you to your boy. Who then stabs it down your throat. And splits you in half. Wow. Wow, that was... Yeah, it felt big but small. Like, it felt like there was a lot of places to go, but also, like, not a lot of places. It felt like, it felt decent for both sides. I feel like there was places that I, like, had to run to, and then there was other places that were just kind of dead area. Like, the middle felt kind of dead-ish. There were a few pallets. They were kind of more sketchy pallets, in my opinion, which is good, because you don't want a bunch of, like, super strong pallets and having the killer feel like they can't do anything. There was shack. There was a building. The building was quite small. There was, like, a vault upstairs and a drop down. I didn't get to see the, there was a building off to my right I noticed when I was running at one point that kind of looked like maybe, like, where you, like, hang bodies. You know what I mean? Like, one of those little, like, walk-up areas. I can't entirely think of it right now. I didn't get to check that out, but I feel like I saw most of the map. And I really like it. I really like it. I like this. This is great. We will see all of this in 3 weeks.